At present, the Ukrainian war, the war that has been started by Russia, is the biggest news of the world. And a lot of countries, including America and some European countries, are opposing Russia. But India is maintaining neutral stand. It means India is neither supporting Russia nor opposing it, not taking sides. India is not taking any side. India might have to engage more deeply. When you engage in something, it means you involve in that thing more deeply with the Ukrainian war as the conflict deepens. Conflict means when conflict means fight, the fighting that is going on between Ukraine and Russia, if it becomes more intense, then there will be a need to get involved actively, as far as India is concerned. It means India will need to take some side. Either it may be with Ukraine or it may be with Russia. But India need to take a stand. With a convincing majority of 141 of 193 countries, out of 193, 141 countries are supporting. Convincing means something which makes you believe, something which makes you believe in something. So 141 countries are ready for what? The UN General Assembly voted on Wednesday for a resolution that deplored in the strongest terms Russia's attack on Ukraine. So on Wednesday, a poll happened in UN General Assembly, and in that polling, 141 countries were against Russia. They passed a resolution. Resolution means they said with full determination that this action of Russia is not fair. Deplore. Deplore means when you say or when you want to say that this is not good, this is bad. In the strongest term, it means 141 countries criticized Russia very severely. Russia's attack on Ukraine. So Russia's attack on Ukraine was criticized by many countries, and it was majority 141 countries out of 193 passed a resolution, means showed their determination and demanded an immediate withdrawal. Withdrawal means to take back something of Russian troops. Troops means forces. So it was demanded by 141 countries that Russia must withdraw its forces. The resolution, which was discussed in a rare special emergency session. So an emergency session of UN Assembly was called, and in that assembly session the resolution was passed, and under the rubric of uniting for peace. Rubric means heading of a document. Heading of a document. So there was a document, and the title of that document, the rubric of that document was uniting for peace. Resolution invoked after decades. So this session was called. Invoke means to take the use of. Invoked after decades. So after decade means a time period of 10 years. So after so many decades, this emergency session was called. Came as the resolution came as, this is in bracket, the resolution came as a result of an aborted resolution at the UN Security Council. Aborted means to cause something to stop even before it begins. So previously one resolution was passed by UN Security Council, but which Russia as a permanent member, UN Security Council, of which Russia is a permanent member, had vetoed. Veto means to object something, to show your objection. So Russia vetoed the resolution of UN Security Council. And after that, the next resolution has been passed in UN General Assembly. While the UNGA, United Nations General Assembly resolution, carries little teeth, it means it is teethless. There is no strong foundation of this resolution. Still, it does represent a common stand taken by the international public commons. Still, this resolution shows that a lot of countries are united against the action of Russia, with 96 countries signing up as co-sponsors of the resolution. So 96 countries are the co-sponsor of this resolution. Russia rejected the outcome. Outcome means the result of something. Rejected the outcome as a political vote. So Russia said that this resolution was politically motivated. That came up severe pressure. Severe means very serious, very intense pressure from the US and European countries. So according to Russia, this resolution has been passed due to the excessive pressure of the US and European countries. It means America and European countries were the drivers of the resolution. Under their influence, this resolution has been passed. But it seemed clear that it was isolated on the global stage. But after this resolution, we see that Russia is completely isolated. Isolated means to separate something, to separate something, to make something alone. So Russia seemed isolated on the global stage. It means there was no other country with Russia, or you can say that only 2, 3 or 4 countries there were with Russia. Russia was completely isolated. It means nobody was supporting Russia. Only Belarus, Eritrea, North Korea and Syria voted against the motion. So in the UNGA, there were only 4 countries: Belarus, Eritrea, North Korea and Syria. These were the countries that voted against this motion, that voted against this resolution. And there were 35 countries, including India, abstain. Abstain means to not take part in something, to not do something. It means India as well as some other countries. Total 35 countries didn't take participation in this voting. While the resolution also decry means to criticize something. The Russian decision to recognize Donetsk and Luhansk as independent states. So in this resolution, Russia has been criticized. Why? For the action. Russia has said that Donetsk and Luhansk are independent states. So this action of Russia has been criticized in this resolution. Representatives of member states made it clear that it was the relentless bombing of Ukrainian cities that they could not turn a blind eye to. When you turn a blind eye to someone or something, it means you do not pay attention to, or you deliberately show that you do not care. It means you are aware of the situation, but still you do not do anything to improve that situation. It is called turn a blind eye. Relentless means continuously. If you are doing something continuously, it means you are doing that thing relentlessly. So here representatives of member state made it clear. So the countries that passed this resolution said it clearly that they cannot turn a blind eye to the continuous bombing of Ukrainian cities. India's abstention. Abstention means to not take part in something. So India's abstention, not a surprise. So this is not a surprise, disappointed many Western countries. Many Western countries were not happy with the India's decision. That have been lobbying. When you lobby something, it means you support that thing. For a shift means change in the Indian position. A lot of Western countries were expecting that India would change its position, and India would also support India would also support this resolution. In the past week, what happened during the past week? India has abstained from three votes. Three votes had happened before the past week, including two procedural ones at the UNSC, where it is an elected member. In UNSC, United Nations Security Council, India is an elected member, and in UNSC during the past week, three votings happened, but India didn't take particip. But India didn't participated. One at the UN Human Rights Council, one at the Human Rights Council, and another at the IAEA on resolutions critical of Russia. It means another was the voting regarding criticizing of Russian actions. In an explanation of vote, EOV, explanation of vote, it means why India didn't participate in the voting. India's UN representative said, so India said its position, or India's UN representative said that India is calling for dialogue, that India wants to make dialogues. While officials say that India's abstention has given it room, means space, to play a role in diplomacy with Russia and Ukraine. It means India didn't take the side of either Ukraine or Russia. It means India didn't participate in the resolution. Now, India is in a neutral position, and diplomatically, India can play an important role between Russia and Ukraine. In a sign of some discomfort with Russian actions, the EOV also dropped the earlier references to the legitimate security interest. In a sign of some discomfort with Russian actions, India showed that India is not happy with Russian actions and dropped some references. Previously, India had said that if Russia is deploying its troops along the border of Russia and Ukraine, so they were legitimate, they were legal. Security interest. Interest means you want to protect your interest means that you are worried about your good things. Legitimate security interest. So previously India had said that if Russia is deploying its troops, it is doing right, because to protect Russia, or to protect the security of the country, Russia can do this, and included language on respecting the territorial sovereignty of members. But now India says that we must respect the sovereignty. Sovereignty means nobody can control you. Sovereignty means you can control yourself. You are not controlled by someone or somebody. Territorial means your space, your field, your area. So now, or at present, India has said that we must respect the territory of another country, the sovereignty of another country. India has also sent an humanitarian aid, means assistance, support to Ukraine. Although, however, its vote of abstention indicates India has also sent humanitarian support to Ukraine, but still its vote of abstention, it means India did not participate in India did not participate in resolution. What does it indicate? It indicates the Modi government still has many reasons not to vote against Russia. It means still there are many reasons, and due to that reason, Modi government is not voting against Russia. A strategic and defense partner. Russia has been a strategic and defense partner of India since a long time. That has stood by India. Russia supported India at many occasions. As the conflict continues, as this fight is continues, as this fight is going on, and the global community expresses its disapproval. When you express your disapproval, it means you do not like something. So the fighting is going on, the war is going on, and the global community, international countries are criticizing this war. However, India's desire to remain an abstentionist power is being called into question. Now India's position is under question. India's position is under question because India is still playing the role of abstentionist. It means the war is very serious. International community, a lot of countries are severely criticizing this action of Russia, and in these situations, India is still not taking either side. So now you can question the leadership of India. The government has also said that it needs to remain on good terms. When you are in good terms with someone, it means you are friendly with someone, with both sides as its primary focus. So the government has said that the Indian government wants to remain on good terms, to remain friendly with Russia as well as Ukraine. Why? Because India's main focus remains the safe exit of Indians from the conflict zone. Conflict zone means war area. Conflict zone, the fighting area. So this is the main priority of Indian government. What is the main priority? The safe exit of Indians. That's why India is still neutral. While evacuation means evacuation means exit. Evacuating Indians is an important priority. Okay, this is very important, or this must be the priority, that Indians must be evacuated from the conflict zone. It cannot be India's only focus in this crisis. During this crisis, during this war, India cannot focus only on evacuating Indians. Given means considering its aspirations for global leadership. We know that India wants to become a global leader, and the oft means often, always, often quoted motto of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam means this whole earth is our family. So if this is the motto of India, then India must take stand regarding this situation, regarding this war. If India wants to be a global leader, then India must show its stand regarding this situation. It may become necessary for India to engage. To engage means to become involved in something more deeply. So situations demand that India must engage deeply with the conflict means fighting in Europe, which is now a global concern. It means this issue, this war, this Ukrainian war now has become a major global concern, and India must engage itself more deeply with this problem, with this conflict, with this war.